There's a weird thing nobody tells you about falling asleep. Right before you drift off, somewhere between, I should set an alarm, and did I leave the stove on? Your brain turns into the world's most suggestible sponge. Seriously. For about 5 golden minutes, your brain will believe anything you tell it. You could whisper, I am the CEO of a yacht company, and your brain would just shrug and say, sounds legit. Let's go with that. Welcome to the secret hack that most of humanity missed because they were too busy doom scrolling on their phones in bed. Scientists, and I mean actual real scientists with uncomfortable office chairs and serious caffeine addictions, have discovered that your brain enters a special, highly flexible state right before sleep. It's called the hypnagogic state, which sounds like either a medical condition or something you'd order at a hipster cafe. But no, it's real science. During this phase, your brain is basically like a toddler who's still awake past their bedtime. It's emotional, it's impressionable, it's wide-eyed and ready to believe that tomorrow you're absolutely going to run a marathon, write a novel, and start that composting hobby you keep lying about on dating apps. Whatever you focus on right before sleep, that's the junk your brain is going to work on overnight. It's like loading a playlist before a long car ride. Pick a good one, and you'll cruise into tomorrow feeling like a minor celebrity. Pick the wrong one, and congratulations, you've just booked yourself an all-night tour of Anxiety Town. This isn't motivational poster talk. It's actual neuroscience. Your brain's memory and emotional systems go full sponge mode during the transition into sleep. They scoop up the last thoughts you fed them and marinate them overnight, like some weird internal sous chef you didn't know you hired. So yes, you absolutely have the power to mess with your own brain in the best way possible. You can literally hand your subconscious a to-do list before bed, and it will say, okay, cool, I'll get started while you drool on your pillow. The catch? You have to pick your bedtime thoughts on purpose, because otherwise your brain, being the chaotic little goblin that it is, will just default to whatever you were last stressing about. That email you didn't answer. That time in 2007 when you called your teacher Mom. That random idea that maybe raccoons are secretly plotting against you. Tonight we're doing it differently. Tonight you're going to pick something better. Something a little ambitious, a little joyful, and just the right amount of ridiculous. So get comfortable, stretch, yawn aggressively like you're a lion who's had a very long day of looking fabulous. Wrap yourself in the coziest position you can manage without dislocating anything, because we're about to step into the best part of the night, when your brain stops pretending it's logical and starts doing what it was secretly born to do. Turn dreams into plans while you're busy snoring softly like a baby walrus. Ready? Good. Wiggle your toes one last time for luck, because up next, you're getting an all-access backstage pass to the brain's midnight magic show. Let's go. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Imagine this. You finally pass out after an exhausting day of being a functioning human. You think everything shuts down, right? Like the brain packs up, turns off the lights, sets the security alarm, and calls it a night. Wrong. So very wrong. The moment you fall asleep, your brain basically cracks its knuckles, throws on a high-visibility vest, and gets to work like a night shift crew, fixing potholes at 3 a.m. Scientists have proven this. Real scientists, mind you, not the ones you hear about on TikTok. When you're out cold, your brain is running maintenance tasks faster than a team of caffeinated interns on deadline day. It's replaying memories from the day, stitching them together like a slightly confused intern working a scrapbook station. It's shuffling through emotions, sorting the important ones into neatly labeled folders like big feels about pizza and minor resentments from 4th grade. And it's solving problems, which is why you sometimes wake up with brilliant ideas like, I should start a kombucha company, or maybe I should finally unfollow Chad. This whole magical overnight festival is mostly thanks to a thing called the Default Mode Network, or DMN, if you want to sound very cool and sciencey at parties. When you're awake, your brain is busy dealing with external drama, emails, traffic, that neighbor who is suspiciously good at parallel parking. But when you fall asleep, the default mode network swoops in and says, all right, humans are distracted. Let's get weird. The DMN starts connecting ideas you didn't even know were living in the same zip code. This is how you wake up with dream mashups like eating spaghetti on a roller coaster while negotiating a peace treaty with cartoon ducks. It's not random. It's your brain sorting, analyzing, testing connections. And sometimes, it actually solves real problems you've been struggling with too. Which brings us back to the whole manifesting before sleep thing. Your brain, in its midnight magic mode, isn't picky. It doesn't fact-check. It doesn't cross-reference against your current bank account or ask if you're qualified. If you plant a thought right before lights out, your brain will assume it's important and start doing what brains do best, building pathways, finding connections, and making plans. It's kind of like if you left a Post-it note for your brain saying, hey buddy, while you're up, could you please figure out how I become a slightly cooler version of myself? Also, if you have time, invent teleportation. Thanks. You're the best. Of course, the brain's version of help is a little unpredictable. It might solve your problem overnight. It might just deliver a dream where you're arguing with a sentient sandwich about life choices. You never really know. But the important part is that it's working for you, not against you. And all you had to do was whisper a few smart, hilarious, or wildly ambitious thoughts into your own brain's suggestion box before you fell asleep. So tonight, when you're lying there, half asleep, debating whether or not you should finally buy that weird gadget Instagram keeps advertising to you, remember, you could be using that golden moment to slip a dream into your brain's overnight inbox. And tomorrow, you might just wake up one step closer to something better. Or at the very least, with a fantastic story about how you successfully negotiated a raise from a talking bear. Next up, how thoughts actually become things, and why you don't need to grow a man bun or move to a yurt to pull it off. Let's keep going. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. All right, so let's talk about this whole idea that thoughts become things. Sounds like something you'd see printed on a coffee mug at a yoga retreat, right? Usually right next to another mug that says, Namaste in bed. But actually, there's some real science hiding behind the cheesiness. Let's start with the basics. Your brain is lazy. Oh sure, it's brilliant. But deep down, it's like a teenager on summer vacation. It only wants to work if it absolutely has to. It's constantly trying to figure out what's important enough to spend energy on. So it takes its cues from you. What you think about the most, what you care about, what you imagine repeatedly. That's what your brain quietly labels with a giant neon sign that says, Attention, VIP access. It's called neuroplasticity, a very official, very fancy word that basically means your brain is like a giant Play-Doh factory, reshaping itself all the time based on what you focus on. So if you spend all day thinking about how you always mess things up, guess what? Your brain helpfully builds stronger, faster, grumpier neural pathways for feeling like a disaster. But if you spend time imagining success, real, vivid, laughably ambitious success, your brain starts wiring for that instead. It's like handing your mind a set of blueprints and saying, Here, make this happen. And your brain, wearing a tiny hard hat and holding a clipboard, just nods and gets to work. And here's where it gets even weirder. Scientists have found that when you vividly imagine doing something, like giving a speech, winning a race, inventing a revolutionary coffee mug that never spills, your brain lights up in almost the same way as if you were actually doing it. It doesn't always know the difference between real experiences and deeply imagined experiences, which means if you spend your pre-sleep brain melt time thinking about how awkward tomorrow's meeting is going to be, your brain happily files that under "This is happening" and gets you fully prepped for sweaty palms and mumbling. But if you close your eyes and picture yourself crushing it with cool confidence and a snazzy blazer, your brain will file that under "This is happening" too. And you'll wake up with at least a 42% higher chance of looking like you know what you're doing. Now, to be clear, this isn't some magical fairy dust situation. You can't just lie in bed thinking, I am a billionaire, and expect Jeff Bezos to show up at your door handing you the keys to Amazon. Although, honestly, if that happens, call me. I have questions. It's more like planting a suggestion deep in the soft, gooey soil of your brain, where your subconscious, that big, stubborn engine under the hood, starts noticing things differently. You start seeing opportunities you would have ignored before. You start feeling slightly less like a human disaster. You start acting tiny bit by tiny bit like the person you imagined. And that's where real magic happens. Quiet, sneaky, real-world magic. Not the kind with wands and glitter explosions. The kind with little daily wins that stack up until one day you look around and realize, oh, I actually kind of became that person. So tonight, when you're lying in bed, scrolling your phone, tempted to read one more article about why everyone is richer, thinner, and better at making sourdough bread than you. Don't. Instead, close your eyes. Picture something good. Picture something ridiculous and amazing. Picture your brain quietly going, "All right, let's get to work." Because if you're going to fall asleep anyway, you might as well give your brain something better to chew on than existential dread. Up next, the actual foolproof guide to handing your brain a wish list before bed, without accidentally manifesting a raccoon in your kitchen. Let's roll. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. All right. Now that you know your brain is secretly waiting for a bedtime assignment like an over-enthusiastic intern, let's talk about how to actually give it one. This is the part where most people mess up. They either give no instructions at all, falling asleep in a vague cloud of stress and leftover to-do lists, or they hand their brain something so confusing that even a supercomputer would just say, "Yeah, I'm gonna need to reboot." If you want to master the fine art of sleepy manifestation, and I know you do because you're still here and you haven't been distracted by an imaginary itch yet, you need to make it simple, clear, specific, and fun. Like you're ordering late-night room service from your brain's 5-star fantasy hotel. You don't call down to the kitchen and say, "Just bring me food, maybe something edible, I guess." Of course not. You say, "I want a grilled cheese sandwich with crispy edges, extra melty cheese, and a tiny umbrella stuck in it just for fun." Your brain needs the same kind of clarity. Otherwise, it will panic and send you dreams about showing up to work naked or trying to fight off a horde of mutant pigeons with a pool noodle. So here's what you do. When you're lying there, slowly turning into a human burrito under your blankets, pick one thing, not 30, one. Maybe it's a goal. Maybe it's a feeling you want. Maybe it's something absurdly specific, like, "I want to wake up tomorrow feeling like the human equivalent of a fresh croissant. Warm, delightful, and slightly flaky, but in a charming way." Now here's the key move. Imagine it already happened. Don't beg. Don't plead with the universe like you're trying to return a blender without a receipt. Just picture it, like it's a memory, like it's already a thing you casually did, on your way to being fabulous. Picture yourself walking through tomorrow like a person who has already achieved whatever goofy, amazing, semi-ridiculous thing you want. If it's something big, like writing a novel or starting a business, don't picture the stress and logistics. Just picture yourself being that person, chill, capable, possibly holding a latte. And if you can, and this is important, make yourself smile, a real, tiny, sleepy smile, because your brain loves that. It sees the smile, thinks, "Oh wow, we must be onto something good," and immediately moves that idea up the priority list, ahead of things like invent new anxieties or relive that embarrassing moment from 8th grade. You're not faking anything. You're not lying to yourself. You're simply picking your playlist for the night. And trust me, if you don't pick, your brain will. And it's probably going to be the weird one where you're stuck on an elevator with your high school gym teacher who's now somehow a dragon. Set yourself up for a better night, a better morning, a better version of you who maybe, just maybe, actually gets their coffee order right on the first try tomorrow. All you have to do is send your brain to bed with a really good bedtime story. And the hero of that story is you. Flaky croissant vibes and all. Coming up next, why getting desperate about your dreams before sleep is basically the emotional equivalent of microwaving a salad. Let's keep going. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Okay, listen carefully, because this is where a lot of people turn into human grenades right before bed without even realizing it. You've got your sleepy brain. You've got your wish list. You're almost there. And then, boom, you panic. You try to force it. And let me tell you right now, trying to force your dreams into existence before sleep is about as effective as trying to microwave a salad. You're just going to end up with something sad, wilted, and vaguely embarrassing. Here's what happens. Instead of calmly planting your dream in your subconscious like a chill little seed, you start grabbing it and squeezing it and screaming at it inside your own head. Work, you stupid dream. Grow faster. Congratulations. You've just turned your sleepy brain, which was seconds away from marinating your dream into existence, into a crime scene investigator wondering where everything went horribly wrong. Desperation is like bad cologne. It stinks up the whole operation. Your brain, which is otherwise very willing to cooperate, smells that panic and goes, "Uh-oh, boss is losing it. Time to trigger the emergency overthinking protocol." And before you know it, you're lying there wide awake at 2 a.m., arguing with imaginary versions of your friends about hypothetical arguments that haven't even happened yet. All because you tried to microwave your salad. The better move, and I promise, this works better than any vision board glued together at a Pinterest party, is to relax. Seriously. Relax on purpose. Think about your dream like it's already a thing. Smile about it. Feel a tiny flicker of excitement. Then mentally toss it into the sleepy suggestion box and walk away like the cool customer you are. No chasing, no begging, no sending follow-up emails to the universe with urgent in the subject line. You trust the system. You trust your brain. You trust that if you plant a good seed and you stop stomping on it in panic every 5 minutes, something will grow. The truth is, when you fall asleep holding a dream lightly, like a really expensive soap bubble, your brain treats it like something precious. It works on it behind the scenes. It starts rewiring your filters, your instincts, your little micro decisions. It's not flashy. It's not overnight. It's not the stuff movies are made of, but it's real. And it works way, way better than midnight panic planning your entire future while stress-eating Cheez-Its in bed. So tonight, as you settle in and set your bedtime thoughts, remember, be the chill person who places the order, smiles, and trusts the kitchen, to get it right. Don't be the customer standing on the counter screaming about their side of ranch dressing. Let it go. Smile. Sleep. Your brain's got this. Up next, the exact ritual for bedtime manifestation. And yes, you can do it even if you're wearing socks that don't match and you have snack crumbs in your bed. Let's keep going. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. All right, you've made it this far. You know your brain is a half-asleep intern waiting for instructions. You know you shouldn't scream your wishes into the cosmic void like a caffeinated goat. Now it's time to actually do the thing. The bedtime manifestation ritual. And don't worry, there are no crystals, no chanting, and definitely no need to sage your neighbor's cat. You can do this in your pajamas, lying sideways across the bed like a melted popsicle. First step, get comfortable, and I mean really comfortable. Flop yourself into bed like a starfish that just gave up on its responsibilities. If you're fighting with your pillow, if you're tangled in your sheets like a rotisserie chicken, or if you're trying to sleep while one foot is dramatically hanging off the bed, like you're starring in a horror movie, fix it. You want your body to be so ridiculously cozy that it feels like you've been gently swallowed by a mattress monster who only wants good things for you. Next step, pick your dream. Remember, one thing, not 17 things, and a backup plan, just one. Maybe you want to feel more confident tomorrow. Maybe you want to finally have a conversation with your boss without accidentally quoting an entire TikTok by mistake. Maybe you just want to wake up feeling a little less like a sentient question mark. Whatever it is, pick it, own it, and make it specific enough that your brain doesn't sit there blinking at you like a confused squirrel. Now the fun part? Picture it. Not like a boring lecture slide. Not like a desperate LinkedIn goal. Picture it like you're already living it. Like it's a casual Tuesday, and you're just casually being a semi-mythical badass. You're walking into that room calm and charming. You're getting that email that says, "Hey, great work." You're sitting at brunch laughing your head off because somehow life got a little lighter and you're wearing sunglasses indoors like a rock star. Feel it. Smile about it. Let yourself get a little stupidly excited, like you're 5 years old and someone just promised you a lifetime supply of bubble gum. Then, and this is important, say thank you. Yes, really. In your mind, say thank you like it's already done. Thank your brain. Thank the invisible forces of the universe. Thank your blanket for being there through all your questionable life decisions. Because gratitude isn't just polite. It's like rocket fuel for whatever you're planting. Your brain sees gratitude and thinks, "Oh, wow, I guess this is happening. Better start clearing a path." Finally, let it go. Seriously, let it drift out of your mind like an email you sent and no longer have any control over. You're not going to sit up all night refreshing your inbox to see if the universe replied. You're just going to trust that it got delivered. And even if your dream tonight just turns into a bizarre dream about penguins running a bakery, it's fine. You did your part. Your brain got the message. The work is happening, whether you can see it or not. So flop yourself deeper into your blanket fort, sigh dramatically, just for the drama of it, and drift off, knowing that you planted something good tonight. Congratulations. You have officially completed the sleepy manifestation ritual. You are now authorized to wear imaginary wizard robes and demand snacks from thin air. Results may vary, but snacks are highly encouraged. Next up, a secret bonus. Because your brain isn't the only thing living rent-free in your head at night. Let's meet the weird little creatures that influence your dreams. Now, before we glide off into a blissful snore fest, there's something else you should know. Your brain? Yeah, it's not just neurons and logical wiring up there. It's basically a noisy shared apartment run by a bunch of invisible, weird little creatures you didn't know you were renting space to. They don't pay rent. They don't do the dishes. But they do love to crash your plans if you're not careful. First up, meet the doubt gnome. This guy is about the size of a bad idea and twice as annoying. He's the one who pops up right when you start imagining something good and whispers, "Are you sure you can do that? I mean, it sounds kinda hard. Maybe you should just stay here and watch 7 consecutive episodes of some show you don't even like." The doubt gnome is not evil. He just thinks he's protecting you from disappointment by making you lower your standards to maybe I'll just survive Monday without spilling anything on myself. Then there's the Procrastination Pixie. Oh, she's adorable. Glitter everywhere, constantly fluttering around telling you, you know what would be really productive right now. Organizing your sock drawer by color while completely ignoring your actual dreams. She's the reason you're suddenly very passionate about alphabetizing your spice rack instead of sending that important email you swore you'd write before lunch. But fear not, because riding in like a boss, you also have the courage unicorn. The courage unicorn doesn't waste time. She doesn't debate. She doesn't ask for permission. She shows up, tosses her glittery mane, and says, "Yeah, you're doing it anyway, even if your socks don't match and you're 85% sure you're faking it." When you feed your brain good dreams before sleep, when you plant clear, confident ideas, you basically summon the courage unicorn. She's on standby. She just needs you to open the door a crack. The truth is, all these weird little characters live inside your mind, whether you like it or not. You can't kick them out. You can't evict the doubt gnome or unplug the procrastination pixie. But you can decide who you hand the microphone to. When you fall asleep tonight, you get to choose. You can let the doubt gnome DJ your dreams and wake up feeling like an emotional pancake. Or you can let the courage unicorn take over, play an absolute banger of a confidence anthem, and maybe, just maybe, help you wake up feeling like you could wrestle Monday to the ground and win. So as you start to drift, maybe picture yourself building a tiny imaginary velvet rope around your dream tonight. The courage unicorn stands guard. The doubt gnome and procrastination pixie are politely asked to wait outside with a juice box and some crayons. You've got something better growing tonight. And honestly, it's about time. Coming up next, your final guided drift-off, a sleepy little journey to make sure all this goodness sinks in nice and deep. Let's head there now. All right, champion of cozy dreams, you've done all the hard stuff. You've set your intention. You've tricked your brain into being a helpful sidekick instead of a stressed-out pigeon. You even met your inner creatures and somehow survived. Now, it's time to drift. And the best part? You don't have to do anything else. No homework, no productivity hacks. No awkward breathing exercises where you wonder if you're doing it wrong. Just lie there, flop a little deeper into your bed, wiggle your toes like they're waving goodbye to the day, and let your whole body sink down like an elevator with no particular schedule. Picture yourself floating, not in some weird cosmic river full of inspirational quotes, just floating, lazy and slow, like a pool noodle that gave up trying to impress anyone. Above you, the sky's soft, not dramatic, not showing off, just quietly there, a friendly, empty canvas where anything good could happen. And under that sky, you're drifting, lighter, slower, in a place where the world doesn't expect you to do anything except be. Somewhere deep inside your mind, your dream, the one you smiled about earlier, is already settling in, rooting itself into your subconscious, getting comfortable. Maybe even ordering some metaphorical pizza, because dreams get hungry too. You don't have to force anything. You don't have to check in. Your job is officially done for the day. You are the CEO of napping operations now. Imagine your brain quietly clicking into overnight mode. Tiny workers in hard hats sliding important papers labeled "Awesome New Reality" onto conveyor belts. Neurons high-fiving each other because you finally gave them something fun to build. Everything you wanted tonight. The feeling, the idea, the possibility. It's safe now, tucked into a little corner of your mind where it can grow without interference from stress or overthinking. All you have to do is sleep. Let the upgrades happen. No status updates needed. No Wi-Fi required. As you float even deeper, feel your face soften, like you just heard a really good joke and you're still smiling about it, even though you forgot what it was. Feel your chest get heavier, but in that good way, like you're being wrapped in 5 layers of lazy, cozy blankets. Feel your thoughts slow down, like a parade winding down after a very successful, slightly ridiculous day. You're not just falling asleep. You're handing over the wheel to a version of yourself who already knows what they're doing. You're slipping into a better tomorrow without even trying. So, drift deeper, slower, lighter, knowing that your brain is now officially on your side. Knowing that while you sleep, little miracles are quietly being moved into position. Knowing that tomorrow you'll wake up just a tiny bit closer to the person you've already decided to become. And honestly, That person is going to be awesome. Croissant vibes and all. Good night, Dream Planter. See you on the other side.